was a really cold day, and Billy was getting ready for school. His mum had made him some porridge. She said it would keep him warm.
I don't really like porridge, because it's all sloppy and thick.
Before he went outside, his mum made sure he had his gloves and scarf.
I like my scarf because it's got penguins and polar bears on it. Mrs. Moores, my teacher, says polar bears and penguins live on the other side of the world to each other. I can't remember where.
As Billy walked to school, he wondered what it would be like to be in the Antarctic.
I was Billy of the Antarctic with my dog.
Dog pulled the sledge across the ice. They were on an amazing adventure.
We were looking for the giant snow beast. It was hard work for Dog, so sometimes he jumped on the sledge with me and we went down hills very fast.
Anyway, they'd been searching for the abominable snow beast for ages, and they hadn't seen a single footprint. So it was time for a rest.
Good job I brought some sandwiches.
And they sat down and had a little picnic. It was a good spot next to the sea, and they watched the icebergs.
They're huge. Some are even bigger than my house.
Just then, Billy felt something tapping him.
Oh, it's a penguin. It wants some of our sandwiches.
The penguin opened its beak. Billy gave him a sandwich, and he gobbled it up.
Luckily, there was plenty to go round, so we let him join our picnic. For a little bird, he ate a lot of sandwiches, even the crusts.
Soon it was time for them to set off again. Billy explained to the penguin that they were searching for the abominable snow beast. The penguin wanted to come too.
Okay, but it might be dangerous.
So they jumped onto the sledge and Dog pulled them off.
After a while, I spotted something on a hill. It was really big. Could it be the snow beast?
Billy didn't want it to see them, but it was too late, and the creature started to walk towards them.
I was terrified. Even Dog, who was quite brave, was frozen to the spot.
Closer and closer it came, and as it got nearer, they realized it wasn't the snow beast at all.
It's a polar bear. What's a polar bear doing in the Antarctic?
I'm sorry if I frightened you. I live in the North Pole, but I fancied a holiday, so I jumped onto a passing iceberg and it brought me here. Then the polar bear asked if he could go with them, because he didn't know the area very well.
Okay, as long as you pull the sledge. Poor Dog was getting tired.
And so, with the polar bear and the penguin, they set off again.
The Antarctic isn't as lonely as I thought it would be, and our expedition was getting bigger.
After a few more miles, they stopped for another rest. Billy was just stretching his legs when he heard a noise. It came from behind a snowdrift. Could this be the snow beast?
Listen, there's something over there.
They poked their heads over the snowdrift.
We were face to face with a walrus, and he was massive.
The walrus had the biggest teeth Billy had ever seen. Then the walrus groaned. He didn't look happy.
What's wrong?
It's my teeth. All this cold weather makes them ache.
Maybe I can help. You need a scarf to keep the chill out.
Then Billy handed him his scarf, and the walrus was very pleased.
Thank you. That feels much better.
I asked the walrus if he would like to join our expedition.
I'd be delighted.
And so, with the penguin, polar bear and the walrus, they set off again. It wasn't long before they noticed some footprints in the snow.
I wonder what could have made these. We followed them for quite a long time, until we reached the big hill. Polar bear jumped on and we zoomed down the hill.
They were going quite fast. Then they noticed they were heading for the sea.
Oh no, where are the brakes?
Unfortunately, they didn't have any brakes, and they shot off the edge of the ice and fell down. At that moment, a giant whale decided to surface. It squirted a spout of water that sent them up into the sky and back onto the ice.
That was close.
Then we slid off again. And stopped next to a big dark cave.
I wonder where we are.
Suddenly, the penguin started to jump up and down and pointed towards the cave. They all looked in nervously. On the floor were the biggest footprints they had ever seen.
This must be where the giant snow beast lives.
The others looked scared. No one had ever seen the snow beast before.
I wonder what it looked like. Come on, let's investigate.
Bravely, they followed the footprints deep into the dark cave.
It was very spooky. We crept along very quietly, deeper and deeper into the darkness.
Suddenly, they heard heavy footsteps.
It's the snow beast.
Just then, two little voices said,
Hello!
They turned round and saw two tiny creatures holding hands. They had one giant foot each.
They didn't look very frightening to me.
We're the snow beasts. We hop around the Antarctic making footprints.
Why do you do that?
So people will follow them to our cave. We don't get many guests here, you see.
The snow beasts saw Billy had brought lots of visitors and said they should all have a big party.
And it was a fantastic party. There was jelly, cake, fizzy pop and lots of ice cream.
The walrus and the penguin danced, and the polar bear played pass the parcel with the snow beasts. Billy never expected to have so much fun in the Antarctic.
It was time for me to leave. I said goodbye to the polar bear and the penguin and the walrus, and then thanked the snow beast for a great time.
Billy jumped onto his sledge and sped off. Billy found himself outside the school with his mum. The gates were locked, and Mrs. Moore said she was afraid the school heating had broken. Billy shivered, and his mum asked him where his scarf
I
was.
gave it to a walrus.